how do you balance everything, from teaching to being a chapter president? I mean, how do you do all that?
Balance. I think it's important to have an equal balance between your professional life, your personal life, your family life, and my exercise life, which is my passion. Yes, I think being motivated by learning is the most important thing for me.
One thing people always say, you can't pour from an empty cup.
No one knew I was struggling. I took myself away, basically put myself in timeout like we used to do with kids. And that's a good thing. So putting yourself in timeout and just breathing through it, it really does help. But it is part of the whole experience. I always say mind, body, and spirit. If you aren't grounded in all three areas, it's really difficult to function.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of 23 Journeys, a network for creatives. I am your host, Tato Datson, with the lovely and talented Naomi. How are you doing?
Hey, everyone.
We have a special guest today. She wears many hats. Dr. Karen Fiorello is a passionate yoga instructor, STEM teacher, entrepreneur, and she's also my Alignables local chapter president. Whether she's teaching students, leading wellness classes, or building connections through Alignable, she's all about growth, health, and community. Allow me to introduce Dr. Karen.
Well, hello. It's so nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
I know it's great to have you here today. We've interacted with each other a lot of times online, and for Alignable, we've had a couple events and everything. It's how do you balance everything? From teaching to being a chapter president. I mean, how do you do all that?
Balance. I think it's important to have an equal balance between your professional life, your personal life, your family life, and my exercise life, which is my passion. If it's on my calendar, I'll be there. That's the way I look at it. So I keep a good Google Calendar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We definitely have a Google Calendar going on between us, too. Like, if it's not on there, a lot of times we might even forget.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have that.
Yeah, I have met another professional a few years back, and he has said that the way his family, they do the Google Calendar, send invites to each other, so that way everybody's on the same page.
Great
Started that
idea.
with me and her, and it has, unless I forget something, other than that, it's flawless.
Yeah,
Nice to
we
hear.
put our kids' stuff on there. We put our personal things on there.
Is
and our
everything
business.
color-coded?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yep. Exactly. You know it.
You're my kind of people.
So, with your background in education and wellness, what is your approach on building like relationships and community, whether online or in person?
Well, I love people. I've always been a people collector. My mom and dad were like that, and I really attribute it to the way I was raised. To be kind to others, give to others, don't expect anything in return. If you get it, great. If you don't, no big deal. But my father was probably the third generation of me, and started my great-grandmother, and then my grandmother, my father, me. I spawned one, and he spawned one. So they're all very energetic people. We all are great with personal, like developing relationships and being there for others and being a kind person. I think that's really important. If you surround yourself with good people, you're definitely destined for success.
That's wonderful. I like that. And then,
Did you say a person collector? Did you say?
I'm a person collector. Yes, I collect people.
I've never heard that term
Yes.
before. That's awesome.
I guess it's a social media influencer, but I like saying that I'm a people collector because it sounds a little bit less, I don't know, pretentious.
there's a Marvel character called the Collector. His is a little more sinister because he'll collect mystical objects and people. And
Okay. I maybe have to watch that.
right. Check out the Avengers
For sure.
So and then you're always with other people and doing your own thing. Like, how do you stay grounded?
Well, I think others help me stay grounded because I expect others to teach me. And I love to learn every day. I'm trying to learn from my students. I don't let them know that, though. I learn from my colleagues, my family, my grandchildren, my children. And with my professional life as a teacher, you really shouldn't stop learning because if you do, you really just may as well get out of the profession because we do have to learn every day to become better. That's why I decided to earn my doctorate, which was a big undertaking. I was 48 when I started, 52 when I finished. I had 2 children, and I was working full-time.
Oh, congratulations on
It's a
that.
Congrats.
little crazy. Wouldn't recommend it. But I did it and graduated first in my class, which was pretty cool. And I have 1 A-, and that really bothers me because I really wanted a 4.0, but 3.98, I'll take it. I'll take it for sure.
Hey.
But yes, I think being motivated by learning is the most important thing for me.
I feel like it keeps your mind sharp too as you're learning
Totally.
more and all. Like, because not only are you learning new information, but it's retaining all that information. You're putting those muscles to use and everything and all. And I feel that's good for anyone at any age.
It is. I agree. And it's funny you said that because with exercise, I was reading a study and it basically said that if you keep your body moving, it helps keep your mind moving. So I'm just going to keep moving until I can't no mo.
Well, I mean that me being I used to be a martial arts instructor, and one thing about it is in martial arts they talk about how having that oxygen and the blood
Yes.
flowing and everything because you're pumping that energy into the brain that keeps it going, keeps the heart running. Other martial arts philosophies too. It's like one of them, an old one I remember. I forget who said it to me, but it was about like the mind is like fire. You know, and when you stop using it or you stop feeding it information and everything, that fire dwindles and
Yes.
dwindles and then it basically fades away. So like you said, like keeping your mind sharp and
Absolutely.
everything.
Keeping the fuel to the fire.
Yeah. The so speaking of mind and wellness and everything, one thing people always say, you can't pour from an empty cup. You deal with everybody and such. And one thing with creatives and whatnot is that creators kind of feel that wellness is kind of like a luxury. How do you help? What would you say to a creative professional that should make sure that they maintain their wellness and everything, so that way they don't burn themselves out or
Well, I've
everything.
literally been in a situation in a classroom or in an event where I just had to leave the room for a couple of seconds just to breathe. And that breath just allowed me to get through the moment. No one knew I was struggling. I took myself away, basically put myself in timeout like we used to do with the kids. And that's a good thing. So putting yourself in timeout and just breathing through it, it really does help, as you said, add the oxygen to the brain, allow you to get through some tough times. And we've all had them. We've all had hills and valleys. But I definitely believe that the exercise helps me get through the next day. Like if I have a rough day at school, I go to the gym, I leave it on the mat. I don't worry about it till the next morning. I get back at it. No one knows I'm struggling. We even do yoga at my school for my students. We have a yoga club Monday afternoons, and I also have a yoga focus group Tuesday and Thursday mornings where they come in and got a grant from my school and we were able to get all the props and the kids love it. I just wish more people would do it.
They added yoga to elementary schools, and no, I think yoga, but mindfulness. They added
hmm
mindfulness to schools in Baltimore.
Yep.
And they saw a huge improvement on behavior and mental retention and everything.
Well, social emotional learning is big right now. And the kids are really, they're dealing with a lot. Most of it is social media and never being able to shut off. The internet never sleeps basically. And they're so worried about hitting their snap streaks and worried about, oh my gosh, I didn't get back to that person yet. And as soon as the day's over, we can't have phones at school. So as soon as the day's over, they come out of every orifice in their body. I don't know where they're all hidden, but they bring them all to life and they're all texting each other like they haven't seen each other in like hours. But I said you're not supposed to be on, oh, it's my mom. No, you're not supposed to be on your phone during the school day,
Yeah.
regardless. They need to shut down. I don't think they shut down. And there's a lot of visual stimulation. I think too much auditory stimulation, too much visual stimulation, they can't settle. That's been my experience anyway. So I have to keep them, and I teach STEM, so I'm real hands-on,
Yeah.
but I really do have to keep them on track.
There was a me and Naomi were she found an article and it was family, so like a group of like families had the kids want to communicate with each other, but they're like, we don't want to do the cell phone because of like all the TikToks and overstimulation you said. And she went back to old school. They brought back the cord phone
Nice.
for their kids to
We
use
still have one.
use at the house. And at least in this community, in this town and such, a lot of the parents were doing that and they saw a huge improvement
I
and,
believe
and
it.
whatnot. It's kind of like maybe the answer is kind of going backwards instead of we have to go back, kind of reset, okay, and then figure out, okay, how can we make this technology
That's
work?
true. Funny story. Once I was covering chaperone duties for a 7th and 8th grade dance. And the little girl said to me, hi, you want to come out and dance with us? And I said, sure. Are you here with somebody? Oh, I'm here with my date. I said, where is he? Oh, we're texting. I said, you're in the same room at the dance and you're texting each other. Put down the phone. which one is he? We're going to go over, we're going to pull him out on the dance floor. They ended up having so much fun just by putting down their devices.
Yeah.
They just had to be told, like, encouraged. I don't know that they know it's a learned behavior. It's not natural.
Mm-hmm. I think that's one thing too, because we grew up in the period, like I didn't have my first cell phone or anything until I was like 16 and all. And we've even noticed now, like with business and everything, we'll be on our phones all the time. And I'm like, no, I'm just doom scrolling here now. I need to put it down. I don't have anything to do. I did my business for the day and all. I can go and do something else now, physically and all.
Yeah. And you're a digital native. I'm a digital immigrant. I didn't have anything. And now I'm the expert in the school on technology. And I didn't even have a computer till I was in my master's program. So
hey, and each is, I mean, you learned, so you're able to figure it out.
I absolutely learned, and now I teach them how to use it responsibly.
Yeah. And that's important because, like Naomi said, the doom scrolling is it's a sickness.
It really is. It really is. Well, the 6th grade class I teach is called digital literacy. So I basically teach them how to be responsible on the internet. And 7th grade is entrepreneurship, which I am an entrepreneur, so that was an easy transition. And 3rd is coding and web design. So they didn't have classes like that. Probably when you guys were growing up, you didn't even have classes like that.
I had like typing and all.
Yeah.
Right. And I still teach that in 6th grade. I still do teach keyboarding. As I think it's an important skill. It's a life skill. Soft skills are important to introduce to the kids.
Yeah.
Now, back when you were talking about yoga and everything, I used to do hot yoga and all, and I did see a big improvement. Like when you do that, even if because it's like when you're rushing through the day and you're like work, you're like, oh, I don't have time to take out an hour to go to a yoga class and everything. But when I would take that time, I would go to a yoga class. I'd be breathing. I'd be relaxing. I'd feel reset where my mind then would be able to focus on all these blockages even that I had before. And now I could like get more done than I would have if I didn't take that break.
Well, you set an intention.
Mm-hmm.
You intentionally planned to do that or didn't plan to do that. I've had people just do drop-ins. They're driving by like, yeah, let me see if there's a spot. Sure, come on in. You're welcome anytime. So sometimes it's a risk and a reward at the same time.
Yeah, the martial arts and yoga are like, I'd say they're brother and sister,
They are.
Martial arts is more of the faster pace and hard hitting, but yoga is the more softer and, everything. So that's why, I mean, if you do a little mix of both, they both help in whether cardio versus flexibility and mindfulness.
Right. Well, one of the classes I teach is bar, which is a combination of ballet, Pilates, and yoga. And I do incorporate a little bit of kickboxing in it just because why not? And I think that's another good way to get rid of it all is just let it happen and don't hold back.
Oh, yeah. A good couple minutes is punching the bag and whatnot. Oh, man, that wedding day was so long. Like,
yes. Very true.
One thing I found cool too is even when you're working out and stuff, a lot of times you'll start talking to the people that you see constantly, like every week and whatnot, whether it's your teacher that you see every week or other people in the class and all. And you start to network that way too, where you're not going in there for business, but then you get to know these people on a personal level. And then sometimes you even find out like, oh, hey, we're in like the similar fields and all and everything. So
you do make connections if you allow it. Not every teacher is like that. Because yoga is an inward practice. It's not an outward practice, but I'm super outward. But I'm an introvert, which nobody ever believes when I say that. And I'll say to them, come on in. Let's have a little circle time. What's your name? How long have you been here? What's your favorite yoga pose? And that gets us going. And they're like, oh, I like that too. Or what's that? I've never tried that one before. And it just opens the door for more conversation. Totally agree.
That's wonderful. So you talked about, we've been talking about yoga and such. So with the building relationships and like everything we talked about with like technology and how we put limitations and everything, let's go back to like talk about boundaries. So what are some boundaries or non-negotiables that you said that would help a creative professional preserve their creative energy so that way they're able to show up when they need to, whether for jobs or networking?
Just like any other job, because I know where I work from home, you need to have office hours. Because if you don't, the world doesn't shut down, like I said earlier, and we operate in 13 countries. So somebody's awake always. I just have to realize that I'm not, and I'll put an away message up. And that way they know, yes, you saw my message, but no, you're not going to be responding until whatever time of day. So I really think it's important to set office hours.
Actually, I love how you pointed it out. So when we first started our business and everything, we used to run it out of our basement. And I never really had like office hours. It was kind of like whenever people could reach out to me and such. And it's cool is that now we have this office here. we set those hours. You know, if somebody looks us up on or Google or anything like that. I mean, sometimes I'll get emails out of those
Mhm.
office hours, but people don't expect us to get back
Yes.
like right away or whatnot. You know, I do like sometimes there are sometimes where I'll let some clients like it's like, oh hey, okay, yeah, I can chat for a little bit, but you know, we set vacations. Like Naomi makes sure that we get out there because
Smart
we-
woman.
You need that reset.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing too with AI is everyone expects an automatic response now, and these look real. I mean, a lot of these new AI responses are like, "This person knows who I am," because you're able to give it the prompt. But I almost feel as if that negates having office hours
Mm, yeah.
because then everyone's available all the time. And there are situations where I even would like my AI to answer their questions, but I'm at the same time thinking, no, I want to be the one to answer the questions. I don't want a bot to say it.
Yeah.
Because there's still not as much of a personal touch. I love the personal touch. I think that's important, especially being in wellness. Somebody may need you for more than they're asking,
Yeah.
and we have to realize that.
And that's important. I mean, AI, we use AI. You
Mhm.
know, it helps us out for so many different things. I just like agree with you when you say the personal touch is key. You know, there's just only so much that AI can do. It can get the information for you, but it doesn't have that emotion, that feeling, that connection. You know, that warmth that you can get when somebody gets an email from you, a call or a text message from you. They actually
It's a
like,
huge
you know,
difference.
you can just feel it. You
And
know,
even the sound of a voice, like the other day, my girlfriend had her birthday, and not one person sent her, they all text message, not one person picked up the phone. And I did. And I said, I know you probably just gotten text messages all day, but I wanted to offer you a call. Now, it went to voicemail because who picks up their phones anymore? And she just said, she texted me back, thank you. It was nice hearing your voice.
yeah.
Yeah.
It makes a difference.
It makes a
That's
huge.
your special day.
Yeah, that it speaks volumes. You know, we have young kids and they have their little Apple Watches
Mhm.
and whatnot. And when we had them stay over. Was it my parents' house or when they were calling a lot of time? Oh,
Ye-
or was it with your mom that one time?
It's hard because they call us a lot.
Yeah.
So I think it was when they were down at your parents' though.
But they were away, and it was just like every little thing. Oh no, it was when they spent the day with your mom. It was because my parents they didn't call us at all. But they're spending the day with Naomi's mom. They were my youngest would call like, "Hey, I just got an ice cream today. Oh, it was yummy. Okay, cool, awesome." A few minutes later, I just finished my ice cream. It
Oh
was.
boy.
It was
It's going to be a long day. Play by play. Journal about it.
But it's cool. It's like hearing that, and I do my best to pick up the phone when I can because I don't know how often I'm gonna have this kid calling me. Someday they're good. I'm not gonna get these little
You're right.
calls, and
And time is a thief.
yeah,
I mean, my boys are 36 and 27 now, and the babies, I have two grandchildren, 2.5 and 1.5, and I adore them so much. But they're just, I see their changes. And it just reminds me of TJ and Christopher when they were growing up, and they're 9 years apart. So it was two different worlds.
yeah,
But I just recalling all the milestones, just watching it through Luca and Tommy, and just enjoying every moment that they are alive and in our presence. Lots of energy.
yeah.
Now we've talked a lot about with the wellness with like the physical aspect and working out, but you also are involved with wellness like from the inside of the body and everything too as well, correct?
Not really. I mean, I don't get into that because I'm not that kind of doctor. Like everybody says, "Oh, you're a physician." No, no, you don't want to be in my care. You wouldn't make it, with the exception of CPR. I mean, that's my only other way to do it. No, I would have to say no on that one.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, I know the anatomy.
Yeah,
You want to, if I want to help somebody who's struggling with an IT band pain, I can give them an exercise to resolve it, but not so much.
fair enough. Okay. So if there's ever like a thing on an airplane, is there a doctor in the house? You can just be like,
Nope.
maybe.
Nope. Definitely not. And I travel with my ex-husband, who is a physician. So sometimes there is a doctor in the house, and I'll say, "You're up, not me. Get up here."
or yours would be like, I'm having an existential crisis. You're like, I got you. I'm that
Mhm,
doctor.
mhm.
So
Yes.
you do more of the physical, not the nutrition side of it. for the
And not so
wellness.
much. I mean, I can refer people to nutritionists, but I'm not a certified nutritionist.
Gotcha. Okay.
I know what works for me, but what works for me is not going to work for everybody else.
Correct.
Right.
But it is part of the whole experience. I always say mind, body, and spirit. If you aren't grounded in all three areas, it's really difficult to function. And Shavasana at the end of yoga, which is my my students' favorite part, not because we're not moving, just because they're settling down. I tell them it's really hard to have all three at the same time settled, and I help them through it just by slowly walking through each body part and just the difference between movement and settling. And they melt. And I feel their energy because teachers, I don't know if you knew this, yoga teachers cannot take shavasana or savasana. We are silent and we are watching, making sure they're okay. So if anything were to happen, whether it be a seizure, which I would cry, or anything that would cause me to have to help them, whether heart attack or whatever, or they don't wake up, not like dead, but not wake up because they're so settled, you have to be there to get them out of it. And I have a sound bowl that I ding 3 times to wake them up.
Right.
And they're used to it now. In the beginning, they shook because they weren't expecting it. But now they're used to my shtick, and they like, it's coming soon. I just don't know when. That's kind of sort of, I wove a little bit in and out of that question, but it's not my specialty. How's that?
Understood.
Sorry. So we talked about mindfulness. Now let's shift gears and let's hop over to our good buddies at Alignable. Product placement.
My favorite place on earth. Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Well, real quick. So what I want to do is, the last time we got together was at the local business award. So we actually have a video that we put together. So
nice.
we're going to showcase that real quick, and then we'll be right back.
Can't wait to see it.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Tato D, and I'm here with Maria. How you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. So we are here at Alignables, Pennsylvania. We have a networking event, an award ceremony. I mean, Maria, can you tell everybody a little bit more about what's going on today?
Sure. So right here today, we have winners from all throughout Pennsylvania who won the Alignable Business Person of the Year contest. So they were first place winners that got the most votes in their town by their customers and their friends in business. And we're celebrating them tonight by having a little award ceremony and a networking event at the Delta Hotel by Marriott in Bridensville.
Awesome, awesome. And what is Alignable? I know people have known about LinkedIn and stuff, but Alignable I know deals with businesses, but what makes it different than its competitor?
So Alignable is a business networking platform, and the difference between Alignable and LinkedIn is that LinkedIn really has a lot of other purposes that are great, like putting your resume up, getting jobs, but the purpose of Alignable is to really connect with your ideal customers and your ideal referral partners and create that know, like, and trust factor that you get at an in-person networking event, but blend that with the digital platform and you kind of get something incredibly powerful because it's both.
That's awesome. And on our show, we like to talk about networking as creatives and stuff. So having that, everything put together in one spot, be able to connect with some great people is a great way for you as a creative that can also get out there too. So Maria, how can people sign up for Alignable? Is it free? Do they have to pay for it?
It's free to sign up. And just to give you an idea of the scope of Alignable, there are 9.5 million businesses on Alignable in the US and Canada. So if that represents your target market, whether it's local, regional, or national, you can target any of those areas. And that's what makes it amazing, is it's really easy to find your ideal referral partners and ideal customers on Alignable. Like tonight, I was talking to somebody in the wedding industry, and I said, just click on 15, 20 towns that you're looking to target, click on your ideal referral partners, and you will just get a list that comes up of everyone that you should be connected with. It's that simple.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Maria. I am your host, Mr. Tato D with Maria, and you just learned a bit about Alignable. All right, cool. So that was a great event that me and you were at. We both were awarded Local Business Person of the Year for Alignable. And it was a cool event. I really enjoyed myself being there.
We appreciated you because we wouldn't have had a photographer.
Right.
You so gracefully stepped up without being asked, which was just you.
I didn't want. I had no idea what to expect because it was my first time going to this
Mhm.
big of an event. I've been to the
It was
smaller
big.
ones, and I was like, okay, they probably have somebody who's going to be taking pictures. So I brought my gear there just to film myself on
Yes.
stage getting my certificate.
Mhm.
And then once the other lady, Maria.
Yes.
Yeah, Maria was like, "Is there anyone who could take pictures?" It was like I felt like I was Superman. I went, dun, 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 dun.
You totally did. We were at the table, and I'm like, "You go shine."
Well, that's like how we said on one of the other episodes is like if you got to be ready for that opportunity because you never know when that opportunity is going to come. And if you didn't have your gear, you wouldn't have been able to step up. You could have stepped up and been like, I got my cell phone, but like you actually had stuff like which normally those kind of things don't happen. But still, when they do, it's good to jump at them.
Yeah. So with Alignable, let's do a little quick. Can you help explain Alignable for
Sure.
people who don't know what it is?
Well, Alignable is a strange analogy, but it's like Facebook and LinkedIn had a baby. And it's social-ish, but it's business-ish, but it's more networking. So network marketing, like as a network marketer, I can bring my personal side into my business side and meet people, greet people, and give them opportunities to grow through Smart Connects and through our masterminds. There are little groups all over the place you can kind of develop if you are a premium member. We have alliances all over the country and into Canada. So we're just North America based, which I really like a lot. So there's not the language barrier or knowing where people are from. We know where we're from. It's here. And the Business Person of the Year contest, which has been so good for me, that was my claim to fame. I didn't know what it was, but every year in January, they have this wonderful contest where you are nominated by someone and the magic happens. So the first 2 years, I didn't know what I was doing. I think I got 16 votes the first year and I won Collegeville. And the next year, I had 68 votes and I won Collegeville. And I was, I think, 13th in North America or something crazy like that. And first in Pennsylvania. Like it just kind of happened. And I've been growing ever since. And I didn't do anything. It's completely organic. And I think that's the best part about Alignable is watching the organic growth. They now have something called Alignable 360. And what it basically does is it takes a bird's eye view of your platform, of your profile, of all your tags, and it suits you up with other people who might be like-minded. And like this morning, I went on a crazy rampage. I do this sometimes. And I was like requesting connection to all these great people. And I was really, I was just overwhelmed with joy with all the people who wrote back and want to meet with me. So it's just like a nice way to like attracts like law of attraction at its finest. But it has a program that helps us find our own people, which is incredible.
Yeah.
So that's hard to get anywhere else.
So then can you narrow it down then to your specific area
You can.
for them?
Yes. These were just from all over. And I didn't really care where they're from because they were pretty cool people. But if you go into your network, there's like a My Network tab. You can go in there and see who in your area is new to the platform. You can welcome them. Who in the area is new to our alliance, the Bucksmont Alliance for Bucks and Montgomery counties. And I can welcome them and say, hey, feel free to post a little bit about yourself on the main thread. That way they get out there and people know who they are. They're new. And it also tells them who we are and maybe invite them to an event that we're having.
Okay. And then for people who don't know, so like an alliance, we're basically just like, if you think of it like Facebook, it's like a giant Facebook group, basically. And like I'm in the Bucksmont group. How would you think your networking is between Alignable and like LinkedIn, especially because those two are, I would say they're more competition with each other.
They are, kind of, but I find that people from LinkedIn find me on Alignable, and Alignable finds me on LinkedIn, and then they find me on Facebook, and then all the other places because I'm a people collector. And then all of a sudden I have all these people in my space. And that's okay. Like I think I'm up to over 7,600 people on Alignable and 700 recommendations that weren't solicited.
Wow.
They just kind of happened, which really is beautiful. And I think when you meet somebody for real, not just like a 5-minute Smart Connect, which I'll tell you about that in a second because I don't think everyone knows what a Smart Connect is. If you meet somebody for 5 minutes, it's just going to be your initial, everybody's, rainbow, sunshine, and unicorns. But when you really, really get to know somebody in a one-to-one, half an hour discovery call, you will see all their layers, some of the layers. And then you may want to meet them again, or you may want the call to stop 5 minutes ago. It really just depends on the relationship building that you've done during the call. But I do feel with the Smart Connects, which you are it's random people usually, and they put you in a room with somebody for 7 minutes. You each get set 3.5 minutes to not sell. It's not a pitch slap. It's get to know each other. And if you do find you get along, then maybe you schedule afterward. And that's where you get the opportunity to schedule a discovery call or a one-to-one or an in-person if you're local. And I think that's nice. And the other one is a mastermind. And a mastermind's pretty cool because you go in with a question and the experts answer it. So if you have a question about your business or about an alliance or about a situation where you were in with a business partner or a colleague or whatever, they then as experts will answer the question to the best of their ability, which is nice. So what I always do, and this is a trick, if you go to a mastermind, nobody wants to go first. I have a question ready to go and I jump on it. And that way my question's answered.
There you go.
Little tricks of the trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, going first. The other day, I did a karaoke night with one of my friends, Chris Giddings. Have you met him before?
No, I don't think I have.
He hosts networking events in New Jersey and whatnot. So he hosted a karaoke night, and people were kind of like, all right, when's this going to start? Because they had music playing and everything. And Chris was looking around. It's like, all right, who's going to go first? And I was just like, I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
Hit him with that Elton John. I'm still standing
go.
better than I ever did.
You're so good at what you do.
And, but it's true. It gets the ball rolling. It gets
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people like, oh, okay, cool. They took the first step. Now I can step in, and
Yeah.
people feel braver.
Yeah. I mean, even with your events, when you bring the props and you set up your camera, and that's really fun. And you give them something to take with, or send an email to themselves, or a text message to themselves. Like, that's a great way. That's your calling card. We now have your information, and
Yeah.
it wasn't done in an in-your-face kind of way. It was a gift.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what I'm crazy about him, because I always say, this guy, you got to meet him. He's so incredible, because you are you, authentically you, that's the best way to be. There's too many other fakes out there, like posers and all. I always say, be yourself, because everybody else is taken.
Yeah. There's too many
I didn't.
copies.
That's somebody else. Somebody like Confucius or somebody. It wasn't. I can't claim to have that one as my own.
It's a famous quote, you know.
It is definitely famous. Somebody famous said it.
Now, how do you feel like creative professionals can use? I mean, you mentioned the masterminds and the Smart Connects. Like, for a creative professional, how do you feel that they could use Alignable to expand their network?
Really, the sky's the limit. I post every day something that's really going to make you think. I don't do the buy my product thing, because in fact, nobody even knows what I do, which is pretty funny. I just continue to ask good questions and have interaction and make people think a little bit, because I think as professionals and as creatives, we don't have that opportunity that often. So I'll post a really cool question. You're not gonna believe this, but the best response and engagement I had was, how do you eat your corn on the cob? Are you a typewriter? Are you a squirrel? Are you around the world? And everybody came back with their response and why. And it really took off. And everyone says to me, well, what was your best post? I go, you're not going to believe it. I tell them. And I've done, like last week or the week before I went away to Europe, I put in a question about the 70s and how things have changed so much, and how would you operate your business if you didn't have today's technology? And that was huge. A lot of people really wanted to respond to that. So it takes you back a little bit in what it would be like if we weren't in today's technological, crazy tech overload world that we're in. How would we survive? How would you survive as a videographer?
What are some of those best responses?
Rolodex.
Rolodex, yeah.
Oh my gosh, everybody talked about the Rolodex. And I said, now it's called a CRM. Like, it is still a Rolodex. It's a 30, 60, 90-day file or whatever you had before. It still functions like that. It's just a different vehicle. I thought that was kind of cool. And the door-to-door, like selling, right, door-to-door, knocking on doors. Now, if somebody knocks at my door, I ninja crawl across the floor so I don't have to answer it.
It's like, did they see
if
me? Or
somebody calls my home phone, I'm like, oh my gosh, and caller ID wasn't around then. That is around now. I know who it is, and I know whether to answer or not. I really don't call somebody unless I text first. It's a courtesy. It really shouldn't be, but it is.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
gotten
I feel
to
like
that point.
a text is a little less intrusive, but a call, like, you really need to speak to somebody, but they need to know you're calling first. So that's changed. It's just been, I don't know, I really enjoyed listening to like the print ads and classified ads and all the old school things that used to be, which really you don't hear about anymore.
Your approach of the text first before call, actually, to me, clearly defined you as an introvert because that's how Naomi reaches to
That's
people.
what I do
She
too.
will text. I'm just like, all right, I got something to like. For instance, we had to drop off something to to her aunt. It was like an old toy car for our kids for her aunt's granddaughter. And we pull up to the house and she's like texting. I'm like, call. And she's like, oh, okay, fine. And she
See?
calls. Like, she's like, I could just text her. I'm like, no, just call and everything.
Mhm.
I'm just like, all right, I'm going to call because
Yep.
I'm that, I don't know, aggressive. Look, come here. What's up? Like,
Yeah, but it's funny because I will go somewhere and sit there and wait for somebody to tell me what to do. But if I'm running the event, I'm the king or the queen. I'll attack it because it's my area of comfort.
yeah.
But if I'm somewhere I've never been before and I'm not comfortable, I'll have somebody come and get me.
Mm-hmm.
It's different.
Yeah.
But as a teacher, that's my world, that's my stage. I can be who I am and be confident. But I'm more of I would say, an extrovert off the computer and an extrovert on the computer and an introvert off the computer. If that
Res-
makes any sense.
Yeah. No, I respect
Yeah.
it. You have your
When you're in your
field.
comfort
Keyboard
zone.
bandit. Yeah. Mhm. I'm
Keyboard.
comfortable there.
I like what you said too with the different types of posts that you put out there because it gets me to stop scrolling too. Like if I'm online and all, because it's like a lot of times you see the same type of posts all the time.
Ad
and
nauseam.
you're like,
Mhm.
so then you see something different and you're like, oh, well, I'll put it, and then you want to see what other people put on it too and all and whatnot. Because like I remember somebody else had put like, where did you guys go on your honeymoons and stuff? And everybody started commenting different places and all and whatnot. So it was,
And that draws more
Mhm.
connections to
Yeah.
people, which I think is lovely. And they're organic.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot more than I feel like don't get me wrong, I love LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn has a great service in its own right. And Alignable, I love like Alignable because it has its own service too. I just feel like on LinkedIn I feel a little bit more of a facade. I think a lot of people put these like walls or these masks. Alignable, I tend to see people a little bit more, let's say more relaxed and such. Like you said, that whole corn, what kind of corn eater are you?
Yeah.
When you said typewriter, I was like, oh, that's
And not
funny.
everybody does what I do.
Yeah.
And that's why Chuck Casto, who is the director of marketing and public relations, we get along great. He calls me Ginger, and I call him the skipper from Gilligan's Island. And we just have a great relationship. And like Eric Groves, the co-founder, after I did something for him, he sends me a nice message and sends me a Yeti. I mean, they don't do that on LinkedIn. Like it's just a lot more personal. We're smaller, 10 million or so at this point connections and users. I don't know how many of them are premium. That would be a statistic I could look up. But overall, it's a free service if you choose to stay there. If you would like to build on it, obviously, you'd want to be premium or premium plus. I was, 6 years ago is when I first joined, and I was not a premium member for 10 minutes. Like, I need this. And within 10 minutes, I knew this was for me. And that was back in 2019, right before the world shut down. And ironically, my business started to grow during COVID, which who knew, my wellness business. And I was online for 350 days doing these classes. I called it Corona Aerobics. And people were coming and doing exercises with me. I was a smiling face once a day, every day for 350 days until we were welcomed back to the gym. So my business grew with Modern Nature that whole time. People would say, well, you're doing this for free. What can we do for you? And I said, well, you can check out my website. And during that time, I had lost a lot of my hair and my face was breaking out. And during that time, they watched me transition using vegan products. And I said to them, this stuff works. And that's why I'm on Alignable, because of my company, not because I'm a teacher, not because I'm a fitness instructor. It's because of my business. And it's really been the best experience. 60% of my business comes from Alignable.
That's incredible. Well,
Now-
I mean,
I was gonna say, is Alignable mostly like business owners and entrepreneurs and
Small
stuff on
businesses, yeah. I mean, you see some other things, but you don't really have a platform. Like, why are you there if you have a job as a something with a big company? Like, why are you here? It's mostly entrepreneurs, yeah, for sure, or wannabes.
Pretendinors.
Pretendinors, yes. Solopreneurs, yeah. But that's what I found anyway. For the most part, they're the people who are on there. But I've met some lovely people who are practicing therapists, and they've grown their online therapy practices as a result of it, and doing hypnotherapy and doing EFT, and like there's all these unusual naturopathic experiences you can have one-to-one with somebody on a call. from another part of the world. Like, it's just crazy how the internet has brought us together. I still don't know how it works, but they're good.
Yeah.
They're really good at what they do. I don't ask questions. I'm just happy that it works.
Oh man, well we've hit a lot of these great questions. I mean, even without us even asking, we talked about different ways that people can network. From you had the Masterminds, we had the what was the small one?
Smart Connect.
Smart Connect. Smart Connect, I think is really good. The physical, like how often do you see? I know we meet like once a month for our Alignable, but like for other people who are looking to start to go to events, like what advice do you give them to go, when they go out to their first Alignable event?
Well, just go. I mean, take the risk. Connect with the people who are going to be there ahead of time. So I'll go in and I'll see who's responded. And if I'm not connected to them, I'll send them a connection request. And I'll say, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you on whatever date at whatever place. And that then gives us, like, it breaks the ice a tiny bit. So when they go there, they'll know at least one person, maybe more. But that's my recommendation to everybody with that. I've also really been thrilled to see how the people I've met, some of them I like them better online than in person, and vice versa. So that was really revealing. A couple of people I met, I was like, let's go back to the internet.
Do you feel like that's because, like, how we were talking about introverts and extroverts? Some people are just more open to be talking online, and then they might be a lot more like different characteristics in person and all. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But I think the key with any interaction is consistency. So I'm consistent. My posts hit the top all the time because I go on every day. And the same people who I'm with, I see their post number one every time, and I always respond. So if you post something and I see it, I'm going to respond. And as the responder, you should respond back to the respondent, because that way you've interacted twice. But you should, if you posted, the original poster should always be the end poster. You always have to have the last word, whether it's just a thank you, I appreciate you. But that opens the door to I appreciate you too. So you should be the last word. Try to get the last word in it, because all of my posts you see my response, and then there's always a communication back and forth. It makes it people who post to feel validated.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're forgotten. I've also seen something I called orphaned posts where no one has responded, and I'll go in and a like is nothing. I will respond to it with words. I think that's important because that's where the algorithm picks it up anyway. If you just do a like, it just goes away, whereas a comment is worth 5. I think it's 5 likes or something like that. I might have made that up too, but it's something like that in the internet world where you really do want to push the algorithm, because if not, it's just going to die. And my other tip is 10 minutes before you post, interact with people, post a pre-post, something that's like, not really exciting, and then post the one you want them to see. And afterward, 10 minutes after the post, interact with people.
Comment and everything.
Comment and just, I always do a 3-2-1. It's 3 likes, 2 comments, and 1 DM. So I'll try to get into one person's DM, not related to business. I'll say, oh my gosh, I love the handbag you're carrying. Where did you get it? And it's not in your face. It's not saying buy my products. It's not saying, your hair looks terrible. It's not saying any of that. I'm trying to offer them a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's really not the case in LinkedIn. And I love it too. I'm a huge proponent. I've been with LinkedIn for probably 20 years.
Yeah.
But when Alignable popped up, one of my college friends introduced me to it. I didn't even know what it was. I was like, oh, I guess I'll give it a shot. And here I am 6 years later, and just I love it.
Yeah. I know
Purple power.
When I first got Alignable, I was kind of like, what's this? I guess. All right. I signed up, put my thing on there, and then left it. And then it wasn't until like a little after the pandemic is when I first saw you and Seth had posted the Smart Connect and whatnot. And
that was our first.
And that's when me and you first met, was the Smart Connect and everything. But yeah, those Smart Connects do a lot. They open up doors, and they kind of just get you like, okay. And it's an easy, like committal. When I say committal, like you don't have to be like, all right, I got to get like fully dressed and drive to this location. The Smart Connect's a really simple way to really get connected with other people. And I truly recommend it.
And the one thing I didn't mention with the Smart Connect, if you're in a Smart Connect with somebody that's a disaster, it asks you whether it was good or bad. And you can do a thumb up or a thumb down. And it won't pair you with somebody like that. And it also, they have gotten it to the point now where they know how to connect you to your geographic area.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. Yeah.
And that's helpful. So I was wondering one day, I was like, why are all these people from my space? And I was happy because I thought, oh, good, now I can introduce you to the Alliance
Yeah.
and get them going there because not everybody knows it is there. But one thing I didn't mention, the Spark, which is the newsletter that comes out every Sunday, that's produced by your area only. So there are tons of them go out. Most of them have the same information to go across platform, but then there are local sponsors and there are local events going on, and that's where all of our Alliance events are posted. It says who recommended who, and it's just unusual things go on there. But that's one thing, too, that is nice about being geographically in the same area. You can see what's happening just here and encourage others to do what we do.
Right.
Because we know it works.
Cool. You have any other questions, Naomi?
No, I think we've covered a lot.
Great.
Awesome. And for anyone who's watching or listening, how can they connect with you? Maybe attend a class or maybe even join?
Yeah, I teach at 3 studios. I teach at Fit Results in Skippack. I teach at Whole Body Yoga in North Wales, and I teach at Crunch Fitness in Norristown. My website is KarenFiorello.com, nice and easy. And that's probably the best way to reach me because my information is right there, and I'll get you to where you need to be. There's also a quiz you can take to find out if the products are for you, and I can help you that way. But I'm super accessible, and I love people because they're in my pocket.
She will collect you.
I will collect you. Collection. So I gotta catch them all with Pokemon.
Gotta catch 'em all.
2 times you got to sing. 2 times.
He will sing whenever you give him a
I
chance
don't
to.
blame him.
Whenever. I'm going for a 3-peat. I know I'm going to stop.
It's good. It's good.
Oh, man. And then, and thank you all for joining us today on 23 Journeys, a network for creatives. If you can learn more about us, www.23journeyscreative.com. We are with Karen Fiorello, right?
You've got it.
Got it? All
Second
right.
time.
Second time, Fiorello. I'm your host, Tado Datsun, with my co-host, Naomi.
Hey, everyone. We'll see you next time.
And have a good day.
Thanks for having me. Bye.